Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Trey, and we're going to talk about the X-Men because rumors are that Marvel is supposed to be doing an all-female team, and I'm just like, I don't know about that. But you know, hey, it's their property, right? So they're gonna do what the fuck they're gonna goddamn do. But if you ask me, I think it's a mistake because they tried this before, because they were doing that whole Marvel Now. They did an X-Men run by Brian Wood, and basically it was called the X-Men. It was the main X-Men title, and it focused on the female characters of the X-Men line. It only lasted for 23 seasons. I mean, not 23 seasons. It only lasted for 23 issues because, I mean, I don't think people was that interested in it. Plus, the roster kept changing so much that they couldn't even establish who's going to be the main female X-Men team. There was fighting in between the teams, quarrel, certain characters died or got removed because of editorial mandation. It was just a lot of nonsense, honestly, and it didn't do well. I mean, it is what it is. And then that's when they did the all-new X-Men, which the Time Displays one, the Uncanny X-Men, and I think, what was it? It was another X-Men book after that, after they got rid of the main title X-Men book. But it's just like, come on now, I could have told you that wasn't going to do well, because who's going to want to read a book about all of the female X-Men characters, especially when you know you can't keep the team together. Then on top of that, a lot of the characters aren't in their iconic outfits. So you got Storm with the Marvel Now look. If you've seen it, I mean, it's kind of like a great look, but at the same time, it's kind of like, you know. You got Rogue sort of going back to her first appearance outfit, but this time she got a hood on. You got Rachel Gray, who in her Gimp jacket Phoenix costume. You got Psylocke, who is covered up from head to toe. You got Jubilee, who's a vampire. I think those were like the main female characters. So there's no Emma Frost, there's no Jean Grey, because you know, Jean is dead, and Emma Frost is part of the Uncanny X-Men team with Cyclops at the time. So that's the team that they had at the time. But then, of course, other characters came in afterwards, because I think Rogue was also part of the Uncanny Avengers. It was a mess. So she left, then something happened. I believe something happened with Storm. No, not Storm, but I believe something happened with Jubilee. So then they brought in some characters from New Mutants. It was just like, y'all can't keep a consistent focus for the story, honestly. And it was kind of weird, because it's just like, we know the women of the X-Men team are powerful, interesting characters, but at the same time, to create a whole team where they're just working together and they call themselves the X-Men, and there is no iconic male X-Men characters, doesn't help. And that's what Marvel's doing, because, you know, they did that. They put that line in for Dark Phoenix. It's like, I don't even understand why we're called the X-Men, since it just seems like all of the women are doing the heavy lifting around here and stuff like that. You know, when Mystique criticized, you know, Charles Xavier after the mission from Dark Phoenix, and it's just like, yeah, we get it. The women are some of the most powerfulest characters of all time in the X-Men franchise. We get that. You don't have to sit up there and be like all arrogant about it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like the rumors are that Kevin Feige wants to do that, where he's going to make it where the X-Men team is mostly going to be focused on the female characters. So no Wolverine, no Cyclops, no Magneto, but they'll be facing Mr. Sinister, which I don't have a problem with Mr. Sinister. I don't have a problem with Mr. Sinister. What I have a problem with is getting rid of the iconic male figures from the X-Men to focus on the female characters. Because you need a blend of them. You need a blend of them. Like the original 90s team had Jubilee, Storm, and Jean Grey. Bam, there you go. I mean, Rogue. There you go. 4 X-Men ladies, and then you had Wolverine, Cyclops, Gambit, Beast. 4. You see what I'm saying? That's a team of 8. 4 men, 4 women. So if you're going to do something like that, and of course Professor Xavier, which makes it 5 sort of, but he's never really out there. And then of course you have special appearances from other X-Men, Nightcrawler, Archangel, Psylocke, Bishop, of course. I feel Nightcrawler. Did I say Colossus? I did say Colossus, right? I did say Colossus, right? Yeah, I did. Just because I'm trying to figure out if I missed the character. But you know, it's an even balance. And then even if you didn't go that route, you can always kind of sort of look at the team from X-Men Evolution. So you had Storm and Wolverine and Professor Xavier as the 3 mentors. Then you, of course, you had Shadowcat, Rogue, Jean Grey, Cyclops, Spike, and Nightcrawler. So you had, you had 3 female, well, no, yeah, you had 3 females and 3 males on the team still. And of course that roster got a little bit bigger when they added Beast, and then they added Iceman as well. So, you know, still an even balance. So you see how they kind of do the same thing. And then you can look at the Wolverine, the Uncanny X-Men team, no, the Astonishing X-Men team, which had Emma Frost and Shadowcat on that team. But you had Wolverine, Beast, and Cyclops, and then of course Colossus came back. So you still had like a balance of that kind of stuff. You need that kind of balance of teams. But if you're going to ignore Wolverine, which at the same time I understand, because Wolverine is such a thing, but he's also still like almost every iteration of the X-Men team. Him, Cyclops usually are a team, unless you're going to go the X-Men gold and blue team route. But even then, you still got, you know what I'm saying? You still have that team kind of there. So I don't know. I would say don't make an all-female team, because it's not going to work. And that's been the problem with Hollywood in general. It's just that you guys keep thinking that you need to make this whole female empowerment shit. It's not going to work. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm just going to flat out say it. It's not going to work. It doesn't work. Nobody's going to show up for the X-Men if it's an all-female team. And on top of that, how are you going to sell that merchandise? Because that's what Ike Perlmutter was trying to tell Kevin, why he rejected a lot of these characters or whatever, is because he was saying, like, you have to think about how you're going to be able to merchandise and make these toys too. Because you gotta think about it. They also got to be merchandisable. And the problem too is the reason why a lot of those diverse characters didn't work in the MCU is you put them in outfits that are not, you know, they're not very interesting. They're not very super heroic. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need something that can be like, wow, when we see it, that's the costume. You know what I'm saying? I mean, y'all can crap on the DCEU all you want to, but the DCEU been able to sell the toys and merchandise for the characters. You know what I'm saying? And they were able to sell Harley Quinn's garbage outfits from Birds of Prey and the Fabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. And let's be honest, that outfit is some hot horse shit. All right? But they made the costumes look very merchandisable, though. And that's been the problem with the MCU. None of the costumes look merchandisable. They don't look interesting, where if I go to a convention, I'll see people dress up more in DCEU versions of the characters than I see people dress up as the MCU versions of the characters. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta think. And again, it always goes back to the toys, because if you look at the original Fox movies, and Sony movies, and, you know, Universal movies or whatever that had female characters in it, they emphasized the female's figure. So when you did have the Mary Jane Watson, the Jean Grey, the Storm, the Invisible Woman, the Elektra toys or whatever, stuff like that, the hips were shrunk. I mean, the hips were extruded, the boobs were perky, the waist was small. You know what I'm saying? So you need to do that instead of trying to make these characters look as realistic as possible. Stop trying to make the action figures look like the actors. Nobody asked for that. And it's kind of funny that Disney does that when y'all won't even make Amy Adams, Giselle, an official Disney princess, because you don't want to pay her for her likeness. But you had to kind of pay the likeness for the actors for the MCU though, to even use their shit. So it's funny, like you wouldn't do that for Amy Adams, but you'll do it for everybody else, and all of that's been a failure. Make that make sense, because it don't. To me, I'm confused about how the fuck that shit worked. What the hell? Okay, all right, bitch, you better have got it correct. So you let me know, but I don't think you need to do an all-female X-Men team, just like I don't think the Invisible Woman should be your focal point for the Fantastic Four, just like I don't think Kamala Khan should be the leader of the Young Avengers. It doesn't work, because again, your target audience is still predominantly male and predominantly straight. I don't care that offends somebody. It's the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth. You just can't get mad at that kind of stuff, you know. I understand some people be like, blah 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 blah, and I'm just like, I'm just stating facts. You know what I'm saying? I'm not stating this because I'm being hateful. Y'all really be thinking that criticism is hateful. Just like these bitches over here constantly blowing me up about my Percy Jackson opinion because the author said that, you know, no matter what anybody said, I chose you. And I said, you might have chose her, but you chose wrong, because that's not your character. Your character isn't black. I mean, that's not racism. That's just the truth. And yet people want to be like, oh, you're hateful, you're a racist or whatever, stuff like that. No, the author is the racist. Y'all keep doing dumb changes like this, knowing that there are fans of these franchises and properties that been here for a long time. I've been here for a long time. I didn't ask you to come in and make changes to accommodate new audience. And I didn't need you to throw some empowered thing. Like, to this day, people know that when I read comic books, a lot of my favorite characters in comic books are the female characters. Because you know why? Because they were written very well. They were gorgeous women, but they had good stories. Storm is an amazing character. And they gave her some of the most iconic looks of all time. You know what I'm saying? Yes, she was beautiful, she was gorgeous, she was sexy, but she also had a character. The same thing with Jean Grey. Oh, love Jean Grey. The same thing with Mary Jane Watson, Lois Lane. I love these female characters. But you're trying to push them ahead and say that they're better than their male counterparts or they're better than men. No, that's not how that works. That's not how that works, because honestly, if they weren't in books featuring a lot of men characters that you are interested in, we probably wouldn't have gave these characters a chance. I'm just being honest. I'm not gonna, I would never be caught dead, honestly, if Spider-Man never existed. Would you think I would be picking up a book about Mary Jane Watson? No. The only reason why I did pick up Amazing Mary Jane is because I've read her for years. She's an interesting, compelling character that showed that you don't need superpowers to be a good supporting character. But if Spider-Man never happened, I would have never knew anything about Mary Jane Watson. The same thing for, like, I would have never known anything about Storm or Jean Grey or Invisible Woman. You know? The only one that I can confidently say that I can pick up was Wonder Woman, because that's what she was. You know, she was the first female superhero and they gave her a book. And she broke that mold, which led to other characters getting their own solo books. But this notion that you need to have female empowerment and everything, especially when it's male power fantasy, is stupid. It's dumb. And I'm about really sick of it. And it just kind of shows how stupid Disney is, stupid Marvel is, stupid that Kevin Feige is, because y'all say that y'all want success. Y'all say that y'all want us to read these books. Y'all want us to support this stuff, but then attack us for not liking the decisions y'all make when we told you what we do and don't want. You're in the business of making something for the customer, not the other way around. So I don't have to give nothing a chance. I don't have to give you my money. And yes, I can criticize it all day long. I don't know this whole notion of we better. I don't have to do a damn thing. And you trying to tell me that females are better than men all the time is not helping your situation at all. But that's just food for thought. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.